What's up, Wargamers? Welcome back to World of Wargaming. Thank you so much for stopping back by the channel or for stopping by to check the channel out for the first time. If you haven't hit that like and subscribe button, hit that for me. It's greatly appreciated. It helps me grow, get bigger, bring you more of the content that you want to see. Today, we're going to be playing some Age of Sigmar. This is going to be a Path to Glory game for the conquest of the Maw of Malticoa, which is the league that we've recently started up at my FLGS here in Fayetteville, North Carolina, over in Spring Lake, actually, which is a Gamers Guild. If you're in the area, stop by, check us out, play some games with us, hang out, have a good time. We are a pretty laid-back group of gamers. Today, we're going to be seeing my Cities of Sigmar, my Greywater Fastness 511th Blackwater Battalion, going up against some Stormcast Eternals. Now, this is not my first game against this player and his Stormcast. In our first game, we worked out that his forces were trying to come into Powder Town in the night. They had been out patrolling in the wilderness, roaming through the mall, and saw the lights of Powder Town and were trying to come in and didn't really announce themselves, so I shot them up because I thought they were invading. So they've been in town resting and recuperating for a few days, and at this point we're going to be heading out into the surrounding area to do some field exercises, just to kind of get in some extra training to prepare us for the real threats that lie within the Maw of Malticoa. That being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the mission, the table, deployments, and the armies, and let's get into it. We will be playing First Blood from the General's Handbook 2021 today. For deployment, attackers will roll off. Players will roll off for attacker and defender, and the attacker will choose the deployment they want. The battlefield is set up with these two L-shaped deployment zones, territories in the corners, with our objectives running diagonally down the middle of the field. The vantage point. After players receive their start of round command points, the player who is going second chooses one of the objectives to be the vantage point, and whoever controls the vantage point when receiving those start of round command points will get one extra command point. Victory points are scored as follows: 1 point for controlling an objective, 1 point for controlling 2 or more objectives, 1 point for controlling more objectives than your opponent, and 2 points for completing your battle tactic. Grand strategies are worth 3 points, and the battle lasts 5 rounds. A major victory is won for the player who scores the most points at the end of the game. If players are tied on victory points at the end of the battle, then the player that completed the most battle tactics wins a minor victory. If both players completed the same number of battle tactics, then if only one player completed their grand strategy, that player wins a minor victory. If both players or neither player completed their grand strategy, the battle is a... Up first, we have my Cities of Sigmar, led by Ulfric Runesen, a Rune Lord, accompanied by his adjunct, the Warden King, a Celestial Huracan with Battle Mage, Eurocopter, Hammerers, Longbeards, 2 units, a Handgunner. Stormcast side, we're led by Lord Imperator, who is joined by a Knight Arcanum that'll stay. The other leader there gets removed because of a point discrepancy. We've got Dracothian Guard Desolators, 2 units of Vindicators, and 2 units of Vanquishers. Time to roll off for attacker defender. He rolls a 6. I roll a 6. Roll it again. 4-1. I will choose to be the attacker. Next up, we roll for some terrain features. That piece will become mystical. And this big old honking tree over here to the left will become deadly. That tree. And this will be our board for the afternoon. Get that dice tray out of the way. Get that book out of the way. Move. Nice view. deployment zones mapped out. Table short stops. We're playing a little bit wider, but the right length so a little bit above the minimum recommended size. Cities of Sigmar deployed pretty tightly into a bunch, with the gyrocopter set to go grab an objective and the hammerers up north just to give a little bit of a screen. Which I'll be needing because these vanquishers are in the heavens. Then we have the rest of his army deployed around this mystical piece of terrain. I had a battle regiment and deployed in one drop, and I'm going to choose to let Stormcast take the first turn. Stormcast chooses Ferocious Advance as the battle tactic, and these 3 units to run. We both choose to go for Heroic Leadership here. Stormcast does not make the roll. Cities, however, does make the roll. I'm going to opt to put this command point on my Warden King. Last thing to do is try for a Mystic Shield, which does not go off, which brings us to the end of the Stormcast movement phase. This is before. We'll take a look at the after. Forgot to do it at the beginning, but that's going to be the vantage point since I'm going second. I get to pick. Stormcast had some really, really good runs this movement. The Lord Imperant used a free command point to push them up a 6. He rolled a 6. They rolled a 6. These guys rolled a 1. They did not bring their legs to the fight. But that brings us to the end of Stormcast movement. No reserves coming in this turn. Stormcast will be scoring 4 points for their first turn, going to Cities of Sigmar, turn 1. I will also be choosing Ferocious Advance as my battle tactic. Both of us going to go for Heroic Leadership. Stormcast not making the roll. Cities, yet again, making the roll. Next up for the Cities hero phase, we're going to do the Prayer from the Rune Lord. Looking for a 2-up here. Making it with a 3. This is going to be his built-in prayer. It's going to be Ancestral Shield on the group of Hammerers. So that'll give them a 6-up, feel no pain, until my next hero phase. So her economy is going to cast Chain Lightning at those Dragon Boys, needing a 6, getting an 8. 4 D3 Mortals, getting a 2. Bringing us to the end of Cities movement. Now, I'm going to throw a lot of runs out here and still be able to shoot because of my Warlord trait, the Ghoul Mill Ranger, which allows me to run and shoot as long as I stay within 12 inches of the Rune Lord, the one with the banner on his back. I ran everything. I was going to run the Hammerers, but realized that that's not really an impossible charge. That's a doable charge. Done with moving on to the Shusting. Going to start with these group of handgunners into that group of Dragon Boys. Normally a 4 to hit. They're going to get a +1 to hit because of the being within the range of the Huracanum, so looking for 3s. My opponent decides to all-out defense here. Not great. Not bad. Few misses. But also some 3s that would have been otherwise not hit. So looking for 3s to wound. All wound at -1 rend. Opponent's looking for 4s here, I believe. No, 3s with his all-out defense. But fails a bunch of them. Rolling separately for the long rifle, it needed a 3 to hit and a 3 to wound, which it does at -1, but he makes his save. Next up, the Celestial Huracanum will dump the storm of Shemtech into these group of Vindicators right here. I had to ask what these were called like 4 times. 3 dice, looking for 2-ups. A 1, that's normal, par for the course. Each of those is going to do D3 mortals for a total of 4 mortal wounds. Now, because of he's on that terrain piece, he gets a 6-up ward save from that. So looking for a 6, makes 1. Last group of handgunners is going to shoot the front rank, has range to shoot the Vindicators, so they're going to shoot there. These 3 have sights on the Dragon Boys, and these last 2 just won't shoot. Front 5 into the Vindicators, looking for 3s. Miss 2. Looking for 3s to wound, but wound on all 3 at -1. So he's looking for 4s. Fails 1. That will do my 3 shots into the Dragon Boy on 3s. All hit. And on 3s. Okay. 1 at -1 with his all-out defense. He needs a 3. He's good. In the shooting phase, we killed a Dragon Boy. Killed 2 of the Vindicators. We're going to go to charge. Try to make this 8-inch charge with +1 from my banner. Yep, that'll do it. That's an 8 plus 1 for my banner, makes a 9. He unleashes hell with his Dragon Boy, hitting, dealing 3 mortals. I still have my prayer, so I got a 6-up ward, which I fail all of. Killing 3, finishing my charge. Gonna pile in. Start of the combat phase, I'm gonna use the Warden King's command ability on the Dragon Boy to give them extra swings against him. This is what it looks like after the pile in. So we got a whole heap of dice here looking for 3s. And this is a pretty unsatisfactory roll. I was not thrilled about it. I could have used all out attack here, but I misread and misunderstood in my head how the other ability worked. Wounded on 3s. 6s do some mortal wounds here. So I got at least 1, I think maybe 2 mortals in there. Nope, just the 1. Oh, I had rerolls. I had rerolls from the Grumblers grumbling. Okay. So that, I rolled a bunch more 1s off of that. But 2 mortals, few in addition. He's going to be looking for 3s here with all-out defense. Back at me with the Dragon Boys, looking for 3s, chalking up a few misses, looking for 3s to wound. All right. Grin -2, so looking for 6s, saving 1. They are 1 damage apiece, so I have my ward saved for my prayer. Looking for a 6, save 1. So take 1 damage, pulling that guy. And the mount on 3s, swing and a miss. Battle shock test for the Vindicators. They can lose 1 on a 6. They're fine. I will score 1 for an objective, 2 for 2 objectives, 1 more for more than my opponent, and then 2 for my battle tactic, putting me to a total of 5 points, and I burned a command point to auto pass on my hammerers. On to the priority roll. 3v3, Stormcast wins the tie. Stormcast turn 2. Battle tactic will be broken ranks targeting that unit of hammerers. We're both going to go for heroic leadership here. Stormcast fails, city succeeds. An Arcanum's going to try to put an arcane bolt into my hammerers. Rolling a 6, which is a pass. I'm going to try to unbind with the Rune Lord because he gets +2 because dwarves don't like magic, and unbound. Into the hero phase, going into the movement phase. This is the before, and we'll come back for the after. End of the movement phase, this group of Vanquishers came in 7 inches away because of the Lord Imperatant. This group over here came in 9 inches away, normal. The Vindicators pushed up, holding on to the objective, but moving up to deal with the Hammerers. Those Vindicators moved up to the other objective. Lord Imperatant just kind of staying in the middle, staying in the mix. Lord Imperatant shooting his wand of smackdown at the Hammerers. First, got to figure out how many shots he's going to get. So he ends up with 5 shots. These are going to be hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s. I'm all out defensing. All hit. Glad I did that. And all but 1 wound. Grin -1 with all out defense. I'm looking for my base save of 4, which I make 1. And still got my ward save, so looking for 6s, of which I make none. So 3 dead hammers, we're going to pull from that side just to make that charge a little bit tougher. Making, on a 4-up, he'll do some mortal wounds to me. Does not. I don't think I made the charge hard enough. 6, let's check it. 6 is in for sure. Next up, this unit of Vanquishers into the Longbeards. With an 8, +1 for their instrument. That is a successful charge landing here. Now, I'm going to unleash hell with this group of handgunners onto that group of Vanquishers. Note that I'm having to spend the command point for this because they're not close enough to use the special handgunner one. Goes to 5s, +1 for the Hurricanum, so looking for 4s. So just staying on my base. Pretty good shot. Looking for 3s to wound. And we're going to get a lot of fails. So comes up 4 at -1 on their 4-up save, putting to 5-ups, pass 2. And then on a 4-up, that guy still gets to fight. This group of Vanquishers charging into the Gyrocopter, needing like a 7. way in. Into the charge phase with Stormcast ending there, and there. No more charges. First combat. So Tony opts to swing with his Dragon Boy first, word that I'll take him out. Goes for the all-out attack. I opt to not all-out defense, so he's looking for 2s and 3s with the Rider. So to hit, pretty good hit. 1 miss, looking for 3s to wound. And the dice gods are with me today, y'all. -2, so looking for a 6-up. Fails, still got my ward save. Looking for a 6-up. Fails, that'll be a dead dwarf. Mount still gets to swing, also looking for 2s and 3s. 3 attacks, all hit. Looking for 3s. 1 miss, Ren -2. Looking for 6s. 4 damage. Here's ward saves. Save 1. That's enough to finish off the unit. My turn to activate, and I'm going to activate the Gyrocopter. D3 attacks. 3 attacks on 5s. 1 hit on 5. 1 wound. No rend. Looking for a 4-up. And Gyrocopter actually manages to get in there for 1. Next up, Tony's going to choose Vindicators into my Longbeards. Vanquishers, not Vindicators, and Tony is kind enough here to let me back up a second and use the Warden King's command ability at the start of the combat phase, which I appreciate him doing. They are going to all-out defense. These shiny boys have a mountain of dice looking for 3s. He's going to be looking for 3s to wound as well, ending up with 8 successful wounds. So with the Gromroll Shield, I go to a 3-up save. -1 Ren takes me to a 4-up. All-out defense takes me back to a 3-up. And I still managed to fail 5 out of 8 of the saves. Stormcast I killed earlier will blow up, dealing 1 mortal wound to me. Swinging back into the Vanquishers with the Longbeards, looking for 3s. Pretty good hit. Looking for 4s to wound. Getting 4 wounds, no rend. So looking for 4s to save here with the no rend. Failing 3 of them. Killing a guy who will get to fight again. 2 attacks on 3s. Pass 1, fail 1 on 3 to wound. Does not wound. Let's see if he blows up. He does, dealing 1 mortal wound. So these group of Vanquishers into the Gyrocopter. 2 attacks piece plus 1 for the leader makes 11 attacks, hitting on 3s. And this is a lot of 2s and 1s. Wounded on 3s. For a fair amount of wounds. These are -1 rend, so I'm going to be saving on 5s. I managed to save enough to stay alive with 1 wound remaining. Alright, so in a Stormcast turn 2, he controls 1 objective, 2 objectives, more objectives, and got his battle tactics for 5 points. I'm going to spend a command point to keep them on the table with an inspiring presence, taking me to 2 command points going into Stormcast, or my Cities of Sigmar turn 2. He gives me a battle shock on those Vanquishers. They need a 5 or a 6 to lose a guy. They're fine. Cities of Sigmar turn 2. I'm also going to choose Broken Ranks, targeting that unit of Vindicators. I'm going to go for a command point on a 4-up. I get it. Stormcast also going to go for a command point. They do not get it. Going for a command point on a 4-up from my Adjutant. Do not get it. Ulfric will pray for Forge Fire on a 2-up. He gets it. That's going to go on the Longbeards, giving their weapons +1 to their rend. Celestial Huracanum's going to go for a Chain Lightning, targeting that group of Vindicators. I get to give myself a +1. It costs 6, so I need to show a 5, which I do. Stormcast going to try to unbind with a Knight Arcanum and Unbound. In a movement phase, Gyrocopter stays put. Not really doing a whole lot here. Just trying to shuffle around and get a couple of better shots on my Broken Ranks target. Kicking off the Shoestein with this back rank of handgunners into that unit of Vindicators. I am +1 to hit with the Huracanum, and I'm going to use my veteran ability to give them +1 to wound as well. So I'm going to be 3s and 2s here to hit with all my rifles. That's an incredibly depressing roll. Seeing it again makes me sad. 3 hits, looking for 3s to wound. 2 hits is better than none. And 2 hits is better than none. -1 rend. Fails both to save. Looking for 6s to save here. Does not get it. Bringing us on to the long rifle. Also hitting on a 3. Hits. Wounded on a 3. Wounds at -1. Looking for a 6. Makes the save. Gyrocopter will take a shot into these Vanquishers. I'm going to spend a command point for all-out attack here. So 5 guys in range. Hitting on 2s. 1 miss. Wounded on 3s. Or 4s, rather. Sorry. Wounded on 4s with the steam gun. All wound. -1 rend. Looking for 5s. Fail 3. Kills a guy. He does not do any mortal wounds to me. Second rank of handgunners. This is the all-rifle unit. Still going to be hitting on 3s because of the Huracanum. 10 shots. Again, I feel like I just saw this horrible roll. 3 hits, wounded on 3s. 2 wounds, -1. Again, 2 is better than none, I suppose. So, alright, so that's some failed saves. Let's see. And 1 on the terrain ward. Alright, Storm of Shentek from the Celestial Huracanum into the same unit. Looking for 2s to activate. 1 fail. Looking for D3 mortal wounds each off of these for a total of 5 mortal wounds. The only thing he's got here is the terrain ward save for the mystical terrain. So looking for 6s. Manages to make 2 of them, which will leave a guy alive with 1 wound remaining. Moving into the combat phase, I'm going to spend a command point from the Warden King so that the Longbeards will get an extra attack against them. So hitting on 3s, pretty good hit. Wounded on 4s. Or no, hitting on 2s. Wounded on 4s. Alright. With a -1 rend. Not too bad. 7 on 4s because he did opt to all-out defense here. So, pretty good chance. Good roll. Fails 1 save. That will kill a guy. See if he gets to fight again. He does. This group of Vanquishers is going to take their opportunity. Swing into the Gyrocopter with a whole mountain of dice. Looking for 3s. Luckily, I'm not the only person with poor dice today. Looking for 3s to wound as well. 2 hits, rend -1, put me on a 5. I fail enough to kill the Gyrocopter. Alright, Battle Shock phase for this Vindicator. He will run on a 5 or a 6. That's what I needed to see. That will allow me to complete my battle tactic. Also owes me a Battle Shock test over here because they lost 1. Only going to run on a 6. Rolls 5. They're fine. Priority roll for round 3. Oh, that's looking like a double turn for Cities of Sigmar. Since Tony is going second this round, he has chosen for this objective over here to be the vantage point. I'm going to opt for aggressive expansion as my battle tactic this round. Hopefully by the end of the round I will control that objective as well as that one. Alright, so for being within 3 inches of my adjutant, I'll get a command up on a point on a 4-up. Don't get it, I'll go for Heroic Inspiring Presence, or the command point for the action. I get that one. Stormcast gets theirs too. Next up in my hero phase is going to be a Prayer from the Rune Warden. I kind of go back and forth here between just trying to do a Bless or a Forge Fire. I finally settle on the Forge Fire going towards the Longbeards. I need a 2-up to get this, and I do get it. Huracanum is going to try to cast Chain Lightning again. I need a 6, need to show a 5 because I give myself +1. That's another fail. Bringing us to the end of the city's hero phase. Going to movement, this is the before, and this is the after. Paid the command point for the auto run on those handgunners. Shuffled there, ran the Huracanum, ran the Rune Lord, walked the Warden King over here to hopefully help out these Longbeards during the combat phase. Okay, this unit of handgunners into this unit of Vanquishers. Got the Huracanum buff, so hitting on 3s. Miss half. Okay, a little below average, but that's okay. Wounded on 3s. 4 wounds at -1 rend. Onto the Vanquishers with their 4-up save. They need 5s, making 2 of their saves, which will kill a guy. Here, I thought that I had a long rifle. I don't in that unit. So this is just a regular rifle. It hits, cock dice, roll out, wounds, fails to save. All right, next for the Shoesting is the Hurricanum with the Storm of Shemtek. So they all go off. D3 mortal wounds each for 5 mortal wounds, which will clear out that unit of Vanquishers. Goodbye. Back to the heavens with you. This unit of handgunners, all of their shots are going to go into the Dragon Boy, except for the long gun, which is going to go over here into this unit of Vanquishers. Long gun first on a 3. Misses. Rest of the shots into the Dragon Boy, who he did all-out defense with. These are hitting on 3s. Really good hit. Really, really, really good hit. Really, really, really subpar wounding roll. 3 wounds, -1. Looking for 3 ups with his all-out defense. Failing 2 of them. All right, that'll do it for the Shoesting. Moving to charge phase. Dead Dragon Boy, that makes me happy. Warden King, gonna charge. Needing like a 3 or a 4. Oh, yeah. He's way in there. And then at the start of the combat phase, he's going to burn a command point to target the unit of Vanquishers so that everybody gets extra attacks against him. Gonna start things off with the King. He's 4 attacks base, +1 for his buff on 3s, but misses 3 of the attacks. Wounded on 3s. Both hit, -1 rend. These guys are looking for 5s to save. Fail them both for D3 damage each for a total of 3 damage. That guy that would died will get to stay and fight again. Okay, so these Vanquishers are going to go into the Longbeards with an all-out attack. I'm going to use my veteran ability defensive formation to make it harder to wound. He's going to use his veteran ability to make it better to wound, so it balances it out. He's going to be hitting on 2s. Still manages to roll a couple of 1s. Good for me. 3 hits. Wounded on 3s, I believe here. So 2 wounds. -1 with my Gromroll shields puts me back to a 4. So pass them both. Thank you, Dice Gods. Luckily, that Stormcast doesn't do any mortal wounds when it dies. The remaining Longbeards will pile into this Vanquisher and go to swing. They're normally base 1 attack each. Leader gets an extra 1, then 1 each for the command ability from the Warden King. Looking for 3s, good hit roll. Looking for 4s, good wound roll. -1 rend, so this Vanquisher is looking for 5s to save against 5 wounds. This should be a dead Vanquisher. I hope it's a dead Vanquisher. Okay, yes. It's a really, really, really good save roll, but not good enough. He will, however, get to fight again. So 2 attacks, hitting on 2s still. 2 hits on 3s. 1 wound. And I make my save. That's going to be the end of Cities of Sigmar turn 3. I'm going to control 1, 2 more for 3, and then my battle tactic, putting me up to 5, putting me up to 13 points. Tony opted to go for aggressive expansion, targeting the middle objective and the one on the top, but he says there's going to be some shenaniganry afoot. Heroic action, we both go for the command point, and we both fail to get it. Looking to cast a Mystic Shield here, and fails. Bringing us to the end of the hero phase. This is what it looks like before movement. This is what it looks like after movement. Pulling back towards this piece of mystical terrain. He also uses once per game ability from the Lord Imperatant to bring back a 5-man unit of the Vindicators, putting them right there in the heart of that piece of terrain. Bringing us to the turn 4 priority roll, which I will win and maintain the turn order. Cities of Sigmar, turn 4, I'm going to go with Savage Spearhead for my battle tactic and try to get 2 units into this big corner chunk of his deployment zone. Heroic actions, we both go for a command point. I do not get it. Stormcast does get it. Going to go for a Blessing from my Priest on a 4. Don't get it. Going to go for Chain Lightning on a 6. I do get it with a 7-8. Unbind is a 7, so it goes off. So 1 mortal wound to the first Vanquisher, and then Terrain Ward doesn't save it. Alright, so this unit of Vanquishers is within 6 inches of the other one. So on a 4-up, Chain Lightning will jump to them. It does. For 1 more mortal wound, terrain save, make it. That's it for the hero phase. We're going to go into movement. Have to take a daily terrain test here. So for the Huracanum, fine. For the handgunners, also fine. And this is how my movement ends up. Huracanum's going to launch the Storm of Shemtek into the guys, into the rocks, all hitting, doing D3 mortal wounds each for a total of 5 mortal wounds. They get ward saves from that. None of them pass. These handgunners are going to also shoot into them, looking for 3s. Oh, that's a pretty good hit roll. 3s to wound. Okay, I'll take it. Let's see. Looking for not 2s. So 3 damage to it, 3 ward saves, makes one of them dead guy. And the long gun on a 3 hits, wounds on a 3, wounds at -1. That is a save. These handgunners into those guys. Looking for 3s here with the handgunners. Pretty decent hit. Not a great wound roll. 2 hits, -1 rend. Looking for 4s because no ward save. Fail them both. Terrain wards. Fail them both. Since there are no charges that I would like to make, that'll bring me to the end of my turn as Cities of Sigmar. I'll score 1, 2 more and my battle tactic for 5 points, bringing me up to a current total of 18. Do have 1 battle shock test to make for this Vindicator. On a 1 or a 2, he'll go. He should be fine. But he's not. All of our heroic actions failed. So going for a Mystic Shield, which is a good roll. I'm going to try to unbind with the Rune Lord because he's got the +2 and get it with a 13. Stormcast are just going to pull in, consolidate, turtle up onto this terrain feature, and score 1 point, bringing us to our last priority roll, which I managed to win and maintain the turn order. Turn 5 battle tactic, I'm going to go for the city-specific one where I want to get a banner bearer within an inch of the objective. Heroic actions right here, Tony's going to go for a rally on that group of Vindicators. Failing, getting nothing back, I'm going to go for a command point, which I also don't get. I'm casting Chain Lightning here. Rolled an 8, failed to unbind, 2 mortal wounds to the first target, and then it went crazy. It dealt 3 mortal wounds to the Imperator, 3 mortal wounds to the other Vindicators. It did, however, miss the Knight Arcanum. Into shooting, we're going to put this unit of handgunners into that unit of Vindicators. 10 shots on 3s, because I'm going to give an all-out attack. He's going to give an all-out defense. Pretty good hit, wounded on 3s. Slightly above average wounding. Looking for 3s, fails 2. He's got a terrain save, which he makes 1 of. Next up, we have the Celestial Huracanum launching the Storm of Shemtek into the Warlord. Still at full bracket, so 3 dice, misses 1. 2d3 for 6 mortal wounds. Let's see if the terrain save can do him any good. He's got 6 6-up saves to try to make here. He doesn't make any of them. This is dead Warlord. So that'll bring me to the end of my turn, scoring 1, 2, 3, and my battle tactic to bring me to a grand total of 23 plus my grand finale battle tactic, my grand tactic to 26. My camera died. My Stormcast opponent's last turn didn't do anything. He just bottled up to keep stuff in his territory for his quest, which was defend the realm. That being done, let's get into some post-game cleanup stuff. In that game, I had left a bunch of models at home and didn't have them. And then we adjusted points, and then I had units in my battle scribe list that were reinforced that I didn't actually have reinforced. So I ended up playing like a almost 200 point deficit. So I'm really surprised that I was able to win that game. Overall, initial glory here, I'm going to gain 13 glory, jumping me from my current position of 2 up to 15. Okay, time to make some casualty rolls. Now, luckily, I didn't have any heroes die, so I don't have to make any injury rolls. I just have to deal with my casualty rolls. I'm going to start off with my hammerers, who lost the most. And I like to roll these one at a time. I know it really doesn't matter as far as probability is concerned, but it makes me feel better to do it that way. So, okay. All right. Okay. Cool. All right. I don't like that. Okay. All right, so just 2 ones out of the whole one. I'll spend a glory point to reroll 1, so I'm at a casualty score of 1 on that unit, and I'm down 1 glory point to 14. Next up, we'll make some casualty rolls for the Longbeards, who lost 9 out of their starting 10. Again, I like to do it one at a time. Wait. What are you? Ooh, slow down. Easy. Okay. Just we're okay. We're okay. All right. That started off super sketchy. I'll spend another glory point to reroll one of those, bringing me to a casualty score of 1 for the Longbeards and down to 13 glory points from the 15 that I had earned. And last of all, an injury roll for my gyrocopter. Oh, thank goodness. Moving on to some renown gains. Because it was a match play mission, we used the bonus round rule. So for every unit I had that was in enemy territory on a 4-up, that unit will get a bonus round. So I had 1 unit, which was the Celestial Hurricanum, in my opponent's territory. So on a 4-up, the Hurricanum gets 1 bonus round. For my unit of renown, I'm going to choose my top unit of handgunners, and they're going to get 1. They're going to get 1 extra renown. I guess they weren't that clutch. My current quest is Defend the Realm. I have no quest counters on it currently, but I had 2 units wholly in my territory, the Warden King and the remaining Longbeard. That'll give me 2 quest points towards it, and I will spend a glory point, dropping me down to 12 to complete the quest, pushing me back up to 22 glory points. I will then reaccept the quest to defend the realm of Powder Town and Forward Operating Base 26. Bringing me to my exploration roll, which I really hope this is something good because I haven't come across anything great. We're going to say the red dice is my 10, the blue dice is my 1s. So we get a 2 and a 5, which is awesome. This is Forgotten Mine. This is absolutely perfect for me. This is the one that gives me extra war machine slots. And as gray water fastness, I want to bring gyrocopters, and I want to bring volley guns and not steam tanks. Never steam tanks. Even in a narrative play, they're maximum doo-doo, and I just can't. But gyrocopters and that, yes, I want to bring some of those. So I'm going to purchase that territory, dropping myself down to 12 glory points. So with my remaining glory points, I recuperated my Longbeards and my Hammerers, getting them back up to full health, getting rid of their casualties points. I also reinforced my Hammerers, and I am left with a few glory points floating until the next round. I could have brought in another Gyrocopter with my new War Machine slot and considered it, but I'd really rather bring a volley gun there, I think. And with that little bit of bookkeeping, that brings us to the end of another battle within the Maw of Malticoa. thank you so much for stopping by, hanging out, spending some of your time today wargaming and hanging out with me. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that bell so you get notifications when I post new content. Leave me notes in the comments if we messed up during gameplay, if there was a rule, anything we did wrong. Give me a timestamp and let me know a page number. That way I can hopefully not make those mistakes again in the future. And if you like the video so much that you'd like to do a little bit more to support the channel, please feel free to check out the description below in this video where you will find my account, my handle for Instagram. Give me a follow there, talk to me, engage with me. You'll also find a link to the Patreon account where you can help out as little or as much as you'd like. There's tiers of rewards and subscription for whatever you're comfortable doing, and that's what I really appreciate, because that's what's going to help me get better stuff to make better content for you. And as always, until we meet again, may the dice be forever in your favor.